Okay, so who can remind us for extra credit? Raise your hand. Don't just start yelling. What an inclusive event is. If events are mutually inclusive, what does that mean? What's that mean, Jordan? They what? They can happen at the same time. Very good. So my people on Zoom, remember, two events that are inclusive can happen at the same time, which means they'd have some overlap in a Venn diagram, right? Are y'all with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So for example, if we did a survey at South Central, could we have a person who was surveyed that's a boy and a senior at the same time?
Yes.
Yes. So those are inclusive events. What about them being, and that kind of already goes over the first one. So there we go. What about the second one? Can you be a freshman and a sophomore at the same time? No. So those events are exclusive. So what we're going to talk about today, if you tried to represent these with a Venn, could you? No, because there's no overlap. You would literally just have two blank circles with no overlap. Those are exclusive events. You want to draw a Venn for those, okay? What about number 3? Somebody different for extra credit. Raise your hand. What'd you get, Jake, for number 3? Inclusive. Can you draw a king that is also a heart? Yes, the king of hearts, right? All right. What about number 4? This one's tricky. We usually have lots of discussion about this one. Jaden, what'd you get, babe? I also got exclusive. So here is why. I always have a kid try to argue this one with me because they're like, but you could be the winner or the runner-up. You're saying the word or. If they overlap, the overlapping part is and. Very good. You cannot win the dog show, aka first, and be the runner-up at the same time. It's not how it works. So you're either the winner or the first loser, right? That's what my dad used to tell me. Okay. Number 5, good, Jaden. Drawing a marble from a bag. This one's tricky too. Replacing it, and then drawing another marble. Is that inclusive or exclusive? Somebody raise their hand. What'd you get, Henry? Inclusive, why? Can you tell me why? Yeah, so let's say we draw, let's say in my bag I have a red marble, a green, a blue, and a yellow. So let's say I draw the red marble out, but then I'm putting it back because it says replacing it. Could you get the red one again? Yeah, so that's inclusive. Does that make sense? Okay. People at home, y'all are good. Y'all are quiet. Y'all can participate too.
I'm good.
Okay. Rolling a dice and getting an even number or a number less than 3. Somebody different. Carter, what'd you get for that one, Ben? Very good. So it's inclusive. That was a perfect explanation. He said if you're rolling a dice, there's a number that's even that is also less than 3. It would be the number 2, right? So since you can get it either way, that is inclusive. The number 2 overlaps with those two events. Number 7, you draw a marble. The marble is red and blue. Somebody different. What do we think? Raise your hand. What'd you get, Evan? Very good. Why is it exclusive? Good. It says there's 3 red marbles, 4 blue, and 1 yellow. And it says you are drawing a marble, which means how many? 1. So you're not going to be able to draw one that is red and blue at the same time if you're just picking one. Okay. Good job. All right. And then the last one, a tile with each letter of the alphabet is placed in a bag and one is drawn at random. A tile that is drawn is either a vowel or a letter from the word equation. This like takes me back to our American problem. I told my husband about that. He said, your kids are slow. I was like, oh, he came for them. Inclusive or exclusive? Anybody? Hello? Some of y'all be acting like you don't want extra credit and you need it. What you want, Chris? What you got? Inclusive, why? There are vowels in the word equation. Very good. So what we're doing today, you have to be able to know if the two events are inclusive or exclusive because it's going to change how you do the problem. Does that make sense? Any questions on inclusive, exclusive before we go over yesterday's packet work? All right, y'all. So did we see when our notebook check is due? I've been telling you since like 2 weeks before break. It's due Friday. If you've been joining Zooms, I know you've heard me say that. I also did publish the assignment yesterday too, though. So you have until Friday, if you're virtual, to send me a video. My in-person people, you can either send me the video or you can have me check it during lunch one day this week, okay? It's only through the last unit that we did, though. It doesn't include anything from this unit. So I just want to make sure we're all caught up. You should have on page 33 your 4A test review. So if that is not in your notebook, you need to make sure that it gets in there, okay? And this is where the notebook check will stop. It'll stop after unit 4A. So these are the 3 units that I'm looking for when I check it. All right, so if you have 4A test review labeled, then you are ready to come with me. We are on unit 4B. I can put it back in a minute if anybody needs. So today, tomorrow, and Friday, and then all through next week before you test, we're talking about compound probability. What does the word compound mean? Yeah, 2 or more. So it means multiple things are happening. So I'm not going to say what's the probability of rolling a 3. That is one event, right? But I might say what's the probability of rolling a 3 or an even number? Or I might say what's the probability of rolling a 3 or a odd? Or I could say if we roll 2 dice, what's the probability of rolling a 3 and a 6? So everything we're doing in this unit is multiple probabilities happening, okay? All right, so page 34. Today we're talking about union probabilities. Jordan, if they don't come with my charger soon, babe, I'm gonna send you next door so we can borrow one, okay? Perfect. The U. It's not a trick question. It's the U. So a union probability is a probability with this symbol. Who can remind us what that symbol means? Or. Good, Evan. You were going to say or, right? Okay. So all of the probabilities we're going to be talking about today are going to be or probabilities. Okay. So just for, what's up, Sudie? I do. I don't want to throw it at you because it's got shavings in it. I'm going to put it right here. So all the probabilities we're going to be doing today are going to be a union of 2 events. Thank you so much.
Hey, no problem.
I'm helping you get your steps in today.
Oh yeah, girl, I need them.
I appreciate it.
Chilling. There you go.
I was like, oh no, my computer's on 8%. I was about to send Jordan.
Oh my gosh, yeah. You were moving.
I got you. Thank you.
All right, well, have a good day.
A union of 2 events. And so we're pretty much figuring out one or the other is going to happen, right? Yes? Hello? Okay. I'm just making sure y'all paying attention. So it's the chance that one or another event occur. Handwriting looks a little rough. So for all of these, we're going to be finding or probabilities. So who remembers while you're still writing? Are y'all okay if I keep talking and we're multitasking? Okay. Who remembers from before break, anytime it was an or situation, do y'all remember what we did with the numbers and the diagrams? Very good, Henry. If it is or, you put them together, you add them, because it's the chance that this or this could happen. So you got to put both the numbers together, right? So for union probabilities, you're going to be adding the chances of the events. So before we finish taking the notes, I'm actually going to start with 2 examples because I want to see if y'all can think through it on your own. Because if you can, then you really just need me here for moral support and you'll understand it better, okay? So we'll start off with an easy one. Let's say we are y'all good if we draw cards? Is that fine with everybody? Drawing cards from a deck of cards? Perfect. So let's say I want you to find the probability. I guess I could use the right notation. Oh my God. I'm up here having a seizure. Let's say you draw a 10 card or an odd numbered card. So how could we figure this out? How many 10s are there in a deck of cards? 4 out of 52. Very good. I feel like that's the part we're usually okay with. It says or, so I know I'm going to need to do what with these? Add. Very good. And then let's talk about our odd number cards. Ace is not a number. That's a letter, right? There's an A on it. Just so I know, like when you're playing certain types of cards games, an ace can like stand for a 1. It's not a numbered card in this situation. It's got an A on it, okay? So your odd number cards are what? 3, 5, 7, 9. So that's 4 options. And how many of those each are there? 4. So how many total? 16. Right? There's 3 4s, 3 5s, 3 7s, 3 9s. So that makes 16 out of how many? 52. So what is 4 plus 16? 20 out of 52. That's your chances of drawing a 10 or an odd number. Can we reduce it? They both divide by what? Ooh, they divide by something bigger. 4. So that would be 5 over 13. There we go. Everybody okay with that first one? I'm about to step it up a little bit. Yeah, good. All right. Example 2. I love how only 2 of you have your phones parked today. Extra credit to those 2 people. I told you I'd be checking. You also have your AirPods in, so I don't know why you saying what phone, what headphones, because I'm about to take them. You better take them out. Example 2, same thing, we're drawing cards. So what's the probability we draw a 4 or a red? Park your phones, kiddies. As no one did it when I like threw a dig at y'all. I was trying to help you out. There you go. I should have just made y'all do it when there were only 8 of y'all here to start with each week. Then we'd be trained. That's an illegal parking job. I'm just kidding. You can leave it there. Boy, about to get a ticket. 4 or red. How many 4s are in a deck? 4. Good. How many red cards? Okay, so did y'all do 4 plus 26? Okay. Okay. Oh, hang on. His hand first, and then I'm going to talk to you. Yes. Don't reduce until you add, though. What were you going to say? Can you say that louder for the people in the back? And I mean louder. If you say it at the same volume, I'm going to throw something at you.
2 of the 4s are already red.
2 of the 4s are also red. So what do? Subtract what? 2 of the 4s. Y'all are really smart. Good job. Now, let's talk about it because I know somebody's about to start wigging out on me because only like half of you, I saw that made sense to you. The other half kind of looked confused. So let's go back to example 1 really quick. A 10 and an odd card. Can you be those at the same time? No, which means these two events were exclusive. You either draw a 10 or you draw an odd. It can't happen at the same time. This one, can you draw a 4 card or a red card at the same time? Yes. So you can't just add them. These are inclusive events right here, and this is what we're about to take notes on. When you do 4 plus 26, you counted the 4 of hearts and the 4 of diamonds twice. So you have 2 extra chances sitting in here that you have to subtract out. Now I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Usually about half of my students don't remember how to do that and they don't like that. So I'm about to show you a second way. Are you ready? Is everybody paying attention? If you read the 2 events first that you're trying to find the union of, 4 or red, can those happen at the same time? Yes, so a lot of y'all like Venns. Go ahead and make a Venn real quick for 4 or red. How many of the 4s are red? 2, and those 2 go in the middle, which means how many 4s do we have left over that are not red? 2. And if there's 26 red cards total, what would go right here in our Venn? 24, and y'all check this out. If you do 24 plus 2 plus 2, do y'all agree that's 28 over 52? Which is the same thing if you add and then you take out the 2 that were counted twice. So when you're finding union probabilities of inclusive events, you've got 2 different ways you can do it. I don't care which way you do. Some of my kids that are visual, it's easier for them just to make a Venn real quick. Some of my kids that don't need a picture and they're good with like just numbers, they like to just subtract what was counted twice, and that's fine. Either way. But if you just say 4 plus 26, you have counted the 4 of hearts and the 4 diamonds twice, so your probability is higher than what it should be. Does that kind of make sense? Yeah? Okay, so let's do some like notes just so you have it written out so you can look back later. And then I'm going to give y'all 2 to try. Does that work? Okay. All right, so with union probabilities, this is probably the most important thing you will write down today. Where are all my markers? They got hijacked. The first thing you need to do is check if the events are exclusive or inclusive. Okay, if you have exclusive events, can they ever happen at the same time? No. So we know if they're exclusive, we're just going to do what to find the union? Add, right? So to find exclusive unions, if it says find the probability of A or B, you're literally just going to do the probability of A plus the probability of B. That's it. Add the 2 events. Everybody okay with that? Okay, if the events are inclusive, you've got 2 options. Option 1, to find A or B when there is an overlap where we counted them twice. You can do A plus B, but then what do you have to subtract? Uh-oh. Where they intersect, what's the intersection symbol look like? And, which looks like a upside down U or an N. Yes, good. Y'all, some of y'all talking about some C. Where the HE double hockey stick y'all get a C from? We talking about A and B, not C. Nobody said anything about a C. They pulled a C out their butt, Jake. They were like, C. No, no children. Add A and B, and then whatever was counted twice, the intersection, you've got to subtract it once because you don't want to count those cards twice. There are not 2 4 of hearts and 2 4 of diamonds. And that's what you're saying if you just do the 4 plus 26. This is option 1. I can tell from some of y'all's faces you don't like it. That's fine. Then what's your other option? To make a what? Make a Venn diagram. So option 2, draw yourself a little Venn. Make a Venn for the situation. And then you know once you've made your Venn that you just do what? Uh-oh. Add them. Good, Jordan. Then add all numbers inside. Oh my God, I said D instead of then. Why is my brain not working today? It does not matter to me which way you do it. On your test, what would be really smart to do? Both ways. Do the formula if you want, check it with a Venn. You got the same thing, you're probably right. Or you made the same mistake twice, which is crazy. Usually you'll catch yourself. Or if you don't like the formula, do the Venn and then try to check it with the formula. Try to subtract what would happen in both the situations, okay? People at home, any questions before I have y'all try to? What's up, bud? Am I gonna be what? I can barely hear you. We're gonna need to submit work. On Canvas? Yeah, baby. We're not supposed to be taking y'all's papers still, especially because there's even more of y'all. Love y'all, but I'm not trying to get no germs and pass them around. So yes, I used Canvas before COVID was even a thing because then I can check your homework in the mornings and I can see which ones I need to go over. It's just more efficient. All right, I'm gonna give y'all 2 to try. My people at home, y'all didn't say nothing, so I'm guessing we're good. Do we want cards problems or maybe like 1 card and then do y'all want me to make up another one? Does that, okay, one of each. That's what I heard. All right, so you guys try these 2 and you know we'll go over them, so don't go anywhere. Let's do, this one is still gonna be about cards. So we're drawing a card from a standard deck. So what's the probability of drawing I feel like I should make it tricky. I'll keep it simple. A queen or a spade. So there's your first one to try. And then I'm gonna write down the second one. And if y'all are good with these after I go over them, I'm gonna turn you loose to do your work. Should have given you more work. Chris is like, this is nice. We about to get all our work done. You look so excited. On the math team. And yes, that is a thing. We used to have a math team. 9 of the 14 girls are upperclassmen. And seven of the 16 boys are upperclassmen. My handwriting is also trash today. So the probability that a boy or a underclassmen qualifies for states. All right, So since the questions are up there, I am going to pause the recording. I feel like we should be able to finish writing and do these two in like 3 to 4 minutes. Does that sound good? All right, so I'm going to pause. I'm still here though. If you need my help, ask me a question, but try these two. Okay, I'm going to be y'all school mama for a second. When you don't try these on your own or you kind of just sit there and twiddle your thumbs, you're not helping yourself out for your homework, okay? So make sure if I turn you loose to try some in notes, you actually try them so you can ask me questions when you don't get it. I think number 3, we were all okay. I'm going to do it both ways so you can check. So how many queens are in a deck of cards? 4 out of 52. It says or, that union sign, so we're never going to plus. How many spades are in a deck of cards? 13. Now let me ask y'all a question. Are there any queens that are also spades? So these are inclusive, right? So what do you have to subtract? What was counted twice? The queen of spades. Jake, Henry, are y'all with me? So the queen of spades was counted twice, so you have to subtract it. So for number 3, 4 plus 13 minus 1, did y'all get 16 over 52? And that reduces to what? Very good, 4/13. If the subtraction, if that doesn't click in your brain, if you're like, I don't understand why we're subtracting it. You're subtracting it because you counted it twice. You counted the queen of spades here and here. There's not 2 of them in a deck. There's only 1. So you got to subtract what was counted twice. If you don't like that, draw a Venn. I gave you another option. So everybody look, my Venn. I have queens and I have spades. How many queens are spades? Because when you do a Venn, you're supposed to start in the middle. How many queens are spades? 1. Which means how many queens are not spades? 3. And if there's 13 spades total, then what's left on the outside that's not queens? 12 other cards. So Jaden, if you add 3 plus 1 plus 12, don't you still get 16? Yeah. You got 2 ways to do it. How many of you were able to get 16 out of 52? Oh, yikes. That's half of you. Did you get 16 over 52? Okay. 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 So it's like 2/3 of them. How about y'all? Were y'all able to get 16 out of 52? There's one very similar to this on your test, so I hope so. Okay, number 4, I feel like y'all did what my 4th period kids in Math 1 tend to do. You saw all the words and you freaked the freak out. Stop freaking out and read. You all know how to read. If you didn't, I would have gotten paperwork for you. That's what I tell my 4th period. It is a true thing because I have taught children who can't read. Okay, it's very hard to do, but it's okay. On the math team, we know there's 14 girls, right? And we know there's how many boys? 16. So how many children are on the math team? Okay, well, you could have started this problem by saying, well, I know there's 30 kids each. So we know we're going to be adding something with 30 as the denominator, right? Okay, before I even finish reading, I'm going to look what we're looking for. The probability of a boy or an underclassman going to States. So first we need to figure out how many boys there are total. How many boys are there? It says 16. Very good. Now, how many underclassmen total are there? Okay, let's look. 9 of the 14 girls are upperclassmen. So y'all are saying 5 are underclassmen, right? Okay, good. And then it says 7 of the 16 boys are upperclassmen. So that means 9 of those are underclassmen, right? So 5 plus 9, I do agree, is 14. This, if you're given a problem like this, this should be your first indicator. That would be 30 out of 30, which is 100%. That ain't right. Probability is rarely ever 100%. If you got a 100% chance of winning something, you should absolutely take it. Obviously, I feel like that's common sense, right? So let me ask y'all something. Boys or underclassmen, can you be a boy and be an underclassman at the same time? Yeah, that would be all of you in here that are boys, right? So all of my boys that are underclassmen, we counted twice. We counted them here with the boys, and we counted them here again with the underclassmen. So how many boys are underclassmen? 9, very good. 9. 7 out of 16 are upper, so that means 9 are under. You counted those 9 people twice. So 16 plus 14 minus 9 is what? 21. Now, I'm going to pick on Chris for a second. He was able to get that. 5 by 3, yes. He was able to get that in his head. I understand some of you are really, really good with numbers. If you don't show me all your work on the test and you miss it, I can't help you out with any points because there's no work. Like some of y'all, when I was walking around, I saw 24 out of 30 and you didn't have what you added and subtracted. I can't help you out on the test because I don't know how you got 24. Does that make sense? So if you want partial credit on your test for when you miss things, then you need to make sure you show me your work. That's kind of rhetorical. You're going to show your work. Capiche? How many of you don't like the adding and subtracting? Yeah, I'm one of those people. It's okay to be that person. I'm not, I don't know. The longer I've taught it, I'm fine with it. But when I first learned it, I was like, no, this ain't for me. So the other option is events. Everybody just watch. Boys, underclassmen. How many of the boys are underclassmen? 9. Those 9 go in the middle. How many boys total did it say we had? 16. So what goes out here? The 7 that are upperclassmen, right? Okay, how many underclassmen total did we have? 14. So if there's already 9, what goes right here? 5. We're all pretty good at VINs by now. If you do 7 plus 9 plus 5, that is still 21 out of 30. Either way, just make sure you show me your work. You still get 7/10 or 70% or 0.7 or 7 to 10. I'm giving you all the options. Do we feel like we can do union homework? You've got 20 minutes to start it. I really think you'll finish it. My people at home, I tell you in Canvas which numbers to do because I don't need you doing all of them. So it's number 3, you have to make a frequency table for it. Did everybody hear me say that? Number 4, you have to make a VIN for it, tells you, okay? And then 1 through 7 on the second sheet, you can really pick. You can either use your formula or you can draw VINs or tables. Up to you. Did anybody want to see a table, for example, or y'all are good? Going once, going twice. Do y'all want to see a table or everybody's good with a VIN? Okay, I think the VINs are a little easier. All right. Make sure you're turning your work in on time, especially because there's no hybrid children now anyways. Virtual kiddies, y'all get your stuff done on time too so I can help you, okay? I've got office hours this afternoon, 3:45, 4:45. And then I have honors math 2 tutoring tomorrow right after school if you want to stay in person. And y'all can join on Zoom, all right?